Get that off, get that minimized, and preview that to turn the screen, black. Okay. Hello and welcome to Outside In. My name is Steven. I am excited and thrilled to be here and to be a part of the YouTube family. You guys have been absolutely extraordinary, and over the years for me, I've learned so much, and God is finally letting me have the opportunity to give something back. I love helping people. I love teaching people. I just love giving my time whenever I can. So what I've done was I have one serious problem, okay? And I'm not afraid to admit it. Not at all. I tend to babble. Yes, sir, I sure do. And I tend to repeat myself. So what I've done was I just learned how to be a reporter today. So I've actually made myself up a bunch of questions that I'm going to ask myself and then answer them. So I'm hoping that by the time I get through all the questions that I've made up, a really good idea of where I want to go with Outside In and my goals for it. Like I said, I'm just super happy to be here. And the more I think about this, the more excited I become. So please forgive me for the video quality. I love one of my favorite quotes of all time is by this wonderful, wonderful man. His name is Burt Gummer. And he says, I do what I can with what I have. Because that's exactly the way I am. And this is why I wanted to do this channel too. I've been wanting to do a channel for years. For years I've been wanting to do a channel. But I was so worried that I didn't have a niche. I think my niche is everything that I do. And there's a wide variety of things that I do. So I was always looking for one thing. But then you guys are just a wealth of information. And I have fallen in love with a lot of YouTubers. The content that you put out is just absolutely extraordinary. You know, and you've helped me so much over the years with learning photography to building computers and building spreadsheets and software programming, car repair. If somebody asks me if there's anything that I don't know how to do, my only response to them is that as soon as I learn what that is, I will be learning how to do that too. When it comes time for me to die and take my last breath, I want my last breath being like, oh, that's how you did that, you know, or that's how I was supposed to do that. I don't ever want to stop learning, because learning just opens up so many avenues. There's so many different things that you can do when you learn. But anyway, you guys have been a big, super huge part of that, and I want to say thank you. The first question I wrote is, what, if anything, has YouTube done for you over the years? Not just what, if anything, but everything. So many things that you guys have done for me over the years, teaching me. I love helping people. And I know that there's a lot of redneck DIY guys out there that they're like Bart Gummer. They do what they can with what they have, because I can't afford a $500 tool. I have to get the $50 one. I can't afford the $300 software program. I have to find the one that's $50, $75, $25, or even free. I work hours and days sometimes on one photograph. The second question I wrote myself was, what was the inspiration, the first name, and the circumstances that led to the ultimate name of Outside In? I mean, first and foremost, my inspiration was God. I've been wanting to do something like this for years, but I was wanting a niche. I thought I needed a niche. This channel is not going to be about a niche, and that'll go more into the questions. So the first name, I've learned in my life that the best way to figure out any problem, and I don't care if it's electronic, I don't care if it's something with your car, I don't care if it's something with your house, and especially if it's something in your personal life. The best way to find what that problem is not from the inside, because you'll never find it. Most every time you find that problem because you stepped outside and you turned around, and when you look back, it becomes crystal clear. So And I always love thinking outside the box in everything that I do. So that's why I wanted to call it Outside the Box. It was really weird because something was making me feel like, no, that's not the name I want it to be. And I know what it was. It was God. He was saying no. But I went online and said, Outside the Box is such a great name. And it's got a lot to do with helping people, teaching them and stuff like that. When I went to my account, I went to create a new channel. But before I named it, I decided to just go and do a search for Outside the Box. And guess what? The first thing that came up was something from somebody with a channel name called Outside the Box. I was like, oh no, that was God then. That was God. He already knew. Before I went to look for Outside the Box, there was another name that popped into my head. And I know who put it there. But I started thinking outside in. So anyway, when I went to look, I kept scrolling. I'm like, you know what? If somebody had that channel name, it would have already shown up right at the top instead of me coming down to 100 listings and nothing about Outside In. So I went back to my channel and it asked me for a name and I typed in Outside In. The next day, I was like, you know what? I'm absolutely loving that name. Way better than Outside the Box, because actually it turns out when I started thinking about it, and God knew that I was going to think about it. And that's why he gave me that name. And I think that's why he had somebody else choose that Outside the Box years ago, because he knew that this day was coming and I was going to want Outside the Box, but he wanted me to use Outside In. You can liken it to a friend, okay? You're at a friend's house and they're having a big argument, but nobody can figure out what in the world's going on, okay? But you walk up and you're like, and you see it just like that. You see it. You say, I know what the problem is. But that's because you're on the outside. If you're inside of all the trees, it's hard to see. You can't see the forest. You can't. Not until you walk outside of the trees and then you turn around. Oh my goodness, there's the forest. So yeah, that's where it came from. Okay, next question was, what do you hope to accomplish with Outside In? There's so much that I want to accomplish. What I want to accomplish with Outside In is I want to be there for people, like people have been there for me. If somebody wants a discussion, if they want me to talk about a topic that they're interested in, or if you're having a personal problem and you would like to hear somebody's take on it, if you feel that I would be a good person to do that, all you have to do is ask. Here's the next one. Did you regret spending so much time on the first video that was a failure? No, mercies no. I don't even know why I asked myself that question, because I knew what the answer was going to be. I take every failure and I turn it around to be a success in my life. And that success could be that I learned something new that I didn't know before. And actually, I laughed. Oh man, did I ever laugh at the mistakes I was making. Next question. Did you waste any time before starting your retake? You know what? I think I do waste time sometimes. After I've worked for 16, 18 hours, or like now, I've been up for 40 hours. So the only time I really waste is when I'm asleep, I think. I just like to see people laugh, and I love to make people laugh. That's what I wanted to ask people in my videos, is to please go find somebody and make them laugh. Give them a reason to laugh. Give them a reason to smile. I always ask God to speak through me. If you need to get a message to somebody, please use me. Let me be the one that you speak through. Because God will speak through any of us that are willing to let him, to help somebody. Who will be your first and constant inspiration for growing Outside In, and who, if anyone, will be the second source of inspiration that will keep you motivated to create content? Okay, my first and foremost, obviously, it's God, for sure, 100%. But secondly, definitely YouTube, you guys. All you guys that give your time to create incredible content. My hat's off to you. I didn't even realize until yesterday how involved. The time that you guys put into your videos. Now, yeah, I've done a lot of this already. Not for YouTube. I don't know what's different about it, but there's a difference. in doing this or creating a wedding video, or putting a bunch of pictures together in a slideshow with a song in the background. This is way different, way different. So yeah, my hat's off to you guys for what you do. Who do you hope to reach as your audience? You. I guess that was a simple question. I thought it was going to be more complex until just now. But no, you're the one I want to reach. Everyone watching me. That's who I want to reach. What is the one message that you want to leave with your audience after each video? Please take care of yourself, take care of each other, and find someone that needs it and make them laugh. Make them smile. Make them cry. Not in a bad way, but you cause them for just a moment to remember a childhood moment that just changed their life. I do what I do because I love to do it. As long as I can put a smile on somebody's face, then I'm happy, so happy. So I don't know if God would want me to do this full time. It feels like it. The more I do this, the more I feel like I'm really supposed to be doing this right now. So I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know. I mean, maybe the first 2 videos will be just nothing. Maybe I won't get any views. Maybe I'm just talking to myself. You know what? Yeah, maybe nobody will ever even watch this. So what am I even trying for? I do not live my life like that. I can't. And none of us should live our life like that, because we never know who's listening. We never know. You're screaming at somebody, and then somebody else sees that, and they're really hurt because they witnessed that. And then you feel bad later because you overstepped your bounds. I've done it myself, so I'm not pointing fingers. But you never know who is listening, So I always try to say something that's going to be uplifting instead of degrading. I want to lift people up, not push them down. All right, this is the last question. What do you need from your audience in order to keep creating content? What do I need from my audience? Wow, that's a tough question. Okay. What do I need from my audience to keep myself creating content? A smile. If I can make somebody laugh, that's all I need. If I can make somebody smile, that's all I need. If I can cause someone to look at their situation in just a slightly different angle that brings a whole new meaning to it, then I've done what I set out to do. And that's all I need. But like I said before, I may be talking to myself. I may never get any views. I may never get any subscribers. Then what? Am I going to quit? No. Because I'm out on YouTube all the time learning something. If I happen to stumble across somebody's video that somebody in the comments needs help with something and they're not getting it, I don't have to help people in my own house. I can go out and help the neighbors, you guys. So I'm just happy to be able to do this. Prepping. I do prepping too. Okay. So yeah, there's all kinds of stuff I do. But I got a distiller, and man, when I was looking those things up, they're expensive. And I'm like, I can't afford that. But I just felt like I needed one. I was prepping for emergencies, and I just felt it was almost like God was telling me that, Steve, you need, just go and I'll show you what you need. I'll show you. Look at the prices, like $400 or $500 for good ones. The inexpensive ones, even still, they were around $200, and I couldn't even afford that. So what I did was I just went on eBay and I just kept looking. I've been doing eBay since 2002. I love eBay. I was looking page after page after page. Finally, I come across this ad, this listing for I forgot the name of it. But this thing, I looked it up, and it was around $300 new. and it looked brand new. They didn't have it long. Something went wrong with it, and they couldn't figure out what was wrong, so they were going to throw it in the garbage. So they decided if somebody wanted it for parts, I think I got it for $36 or something like that. It wasn't much, and it was selling it for parts. But it looked, wow, it looked beautiful. So I was like, you know what? I wonder if I could fix that. So I bought it, and then I got it home, and I almost threw it in the garbage because, I took that thing apart and I was bummed. I was almost sick to the stomach because I can't afford to waste $36 even. I just can't. And I almost was sick to my stomach. But then it was like God said, stop feeling bad. Get back in there and look at it again. You missed something. So I went back in and took it back apart, and I looked inside there, and I was like, I just don't see, what in the world? Because there's nothing to this thing. It's like a hot plate, for goodness sake. What could be possibly wrong? And I don't know. I just got this thought in my head to take the motor apart. And as soon as I started taking the motor apart, there it was. It had a thermal fuse inside the motor that had gotten hot and blew. It was a thermal fuse. So I went on eBay and I found thermal fuse I found a little pack of 5 of them, I think for $2.50. So it ended up costing me about $40 total to fix this thing. And this thing was over $300 value. So I was like, thanking God. I was like, God, see, you did it again. I was like, this is beautiful. And I've used it several times, distilling water. But yeah, anyway, that's what I do. I just love fixing things. I love working on things. I love finding problems. I love fixing those problems. I would love to do reviews. I'm an electronic nutso. Buck converters, boost converters, power supplies, capacitors. If you want to learn how to do something, or if you are thinking about buying a product that you're not sure of, you can't afford to waste your money to get something that don't work. If I can afford to do it, God would allow me to afford to do it, I'd be happy to buy it and then test it. If you wanted to just send me something to review for other people, I would love to do that. I don't want to take something free from a company that wants me to give a positive review just because they're giving it to me free. Okay, I will see you guys later. Have a great day. Take care of each other. Find somebody to make them laugh.